This is the 77 WABC minicast.
In the 18-wheeler, on a 3-day holiday, the 4-wheeler, having to deal with your relatives for 3 days, it's just you and me, buddy. The kids are asleep in the back. Your wife is passed out from Bloody Marys. Walter Sterling, 800-848-9222 with Jay in Cincinnati. Welcome to the other side of midnight. Jay, congratulations, you got through.
Walter, you deserve hazardous duty pay.
Why is that?
You can handle it all, man.
Wow.
You can handle it all.
Well,
we lost
you know why? By the way, you know why, Jay? If you think that, if you imagine that's because I have 3 daughters and 2 female cats. And when I go to the ER or to a doctor, a serious type doctor, not the GP, but a serious doctor, and somebody looks at me and goes, "Do you feel safe at home?" I go, "No, I don't feel safe at home. I have 3 daughters and 2 female cats. How would you feel?" That ends that conversation.
The cats can attack you. I know how that is. I got 2 of them myself. 2 cats.
Girls or boys? Girls or boys?
No, 2 cats. Don't have any children myself.
No, sir, the cats.
Both, a male and a female.
Now, does the male pee?
No, he's pretty well trained. I let him out quite a bit, and he does his business outside and inside. But he definitely uses the litter box. He trained himself. So
well, you're lucky because my male cat that we've had for 10 years, and I have to say, was given to me by Howard and Beth Stern, but I didn't know that it peed. After 10 years, it still goes in the litter box, except its definition of a litter box is very different than yours and mine.
Yep. Well, mine goes out and marks his territory. I've seen him spray outside. I've got a bamboo patch out back.
Yeah.
So he sprays around his territory. So he's a mean old farm cat, kind of adjusted inside.
Thank you for telling me that story. Thank you, sir. Now, do you have a World War II story about a relative? Is that what you've got?
I do.
Go ahead. Take your time and tell it because it's Memorial Day.
Yes, my uncle was also from Irvington, New Jersey. My father was born there also, and being born on the East Coast, they were excellent swimmers. They were both in the Navy, but we lost my uncle, my great uncle, in a PT boat out in the Pacific. He was talk about hazardous duty. They had 3 supercharged V12 Packard engines, 4,500 horsepower, and I imagine that was some hazardous duty. But unfortunately, we lost him out in Bougainville.
Now, what branch was he in?
He was in submarine school. He was an excellent student, and he got to choose his duty. So he wanted to get on a PT boat. PT boats were brand new, the motor patrol boats, and it seemed like something he wanted to do. It was very hazardous, that duty was.
Now, you mentioned it just now, but I missed it. Where was he? Where did he lose his life?
Bougainville, yes.
Where's that?
That's in the South Pacific. It's one of those terrible places, one of those islands that they got stuck on a sandbar, and Japanese shore patrol set up mortars, and they unfortunately, his 90-day wonder officer got him stuck on a sandbar. But those things happen.
Well, Jay, I'm grateful for this story. Thank you very much for sharing it with us. On the other side of midnight at 800-848-9222. Thank you, Jay. 800-848-9222. Red Apple Audio Network's The Other Side of Midnight.
It's The Other Side of Midnight. Confessions of a Retired NYPD Detective. Starring Vic Ferrari. On The Other Side of Midnight.
Hey, Walter. On tonight's episode of Confessions of a Retired Detective, I'd like to explain a little bit about how the NYPD staffs large demonstrations or events during the holidays. So I worked in plainclothes in the Organized Crime Control Bureau. And what would happen is every Memorial Day, Labor Day, 4th of July, you name it, they would throw us in uniform for the day, and we would get sent out to these places. And it didn't matter where in the city. So for argument's sake, my base of operations was in the Bronx. A day or two before Memorial Day coming up, you'd get a notification. It'd usually be about 15 guys in your office that you were to report out to Coney Island on Memorial Day. They'd want you there at 9 o'clock in the morning. So we get up to the Bronx office about 7:30. We'd throw on our uniforms, or the bag as we would call it. We would jump into one of our unmarked cars, and we would drive the hour and a half all the way out to Brooklyn to get there by 9. So we would get out there, and there'd be detectives from all different specialized units, none of which are happy to be thrown in uniform and away from their cases. And then they line you up in groups of 8, and hopefully you brought a supervisor with you, because that's where it can get hairy if you get assigned a supervisor per patrol. And the patrol supervisors, the captains, the inspectors, they don't trust detectives because they considered us prima donnas, and they were on our butts the entire time. So after they count us up and you get assigned a supervisor, they threaten you. We want to see you out there. If anyone's hiding, you're going to get a command discipline. We're going to give you charges and specifications. They read everybody the riot act. Then what usually happens is you go out to your post. Your supervisor usually gives everybody an hour meal, and you whack it up during the day. Now, granted, you got there at 9 o'clock in the morning and you started at 7:30, but you're not going to leave there until the night shift comes in. And if there's a shooting or a stabbing, you could be there all night. And when you work in Coney Island on Memorial Day, anything can happen. There's always lost kids, fights, stabbings, heat exhaustion, and you're standing on your feet all day and you're really hot. And there's no place to hide or get any, dip into a store and just kind of enjoy the air conditioning for a couple of minutes. A couple of times I got assigned over by the freak show. That was wild, because not only are the freaks crazy, but the people that go and want to watch the actor are a little off too. Then when you get dismissed late into the night, you got to drive all the way back to your office with the unmarked car, return it, get out of your uniform, change into plain clothes, and then drive home. So that's just a little insight into what it's like to work a detail for the New York City Police Department. For more behind-the-scenes NYPD stories, be sure to pick up my new book, NYPD, Behind the Blue Wall of Silence, available on Amazon. I'm retired detective turned author Vic Ferrari with Walter Sterling on the other side of midnight.
More talking, Walter Sterling. The other side of midnight.
800-848-9222, 800-848-9222, with Ken in Chicago. Welcome to the other side of midnight.
Good evening, good morning. How are you?
Excited to talk to you, Ken. You have a veteran story for me.
Yeah, we, my wife and I, a few years ago, went out to Hawaii, and we wanted to go see the Arizona Memorial, and my dad, his cousin is on the Arizona, and he lost his life on that day. He was a gunner's mate, and it's interesting that you look at the wall. Our name is unusual, and you see Smith, probably 100 Smiths on the ship. And then there's our last name, and then it goes to the next name after that. But it's a little chilling when you see your name up on the wall there. And I'm not quite sure that it was a good thing that we went to go see the Arizona. I mean, I'm a big World War II history geek and enjoy all that. But it was kind of hit home a little bit. Not that I ever knew him or met him, but it does have our last name, and it was my dad's cousin.
I appreciate that perspective. It's one we never hear, and very thoughtful of you to share it with us tonight, Ken. Thank you very much for calling from Chicago, from WGN Land with Walter Sterling. 800-848-9222. When I've gone to memorials, and I've seen people's names there who I knew, when I go to the 9/11 Memorial and I see Jim Paul, and I see New York City Fire Department Captain Jim Brown, well, those are tough things to see. That makes it more real than the loss. That actually makes it worse than the loss. I feel that it's important to feel horrible about some things. I feel it's okay to look at those memorials, to go through that pain, to go through that suffering, and experience that. That's why we have Memorial Day. With Marlene in New Jersey, welcome to the other side of midnight at 800-848-9222. Hi, Marlene. Memorial Day thoughts.
Well, I got a letter from the military about my husband died from Agent Orange in Vietnam. He died from exposure to herbicides. Now,
when did you get the letter, Marlene? When did that come?
Very recently. Yeah.
When did he die? Well, I'm sorry, I'm confused. When did he die?
Oh, he died in 2005.
And you just got the letter explaining what happened now?
Well, they're now saying he did die from all the herbicides.
Right.
And you should see the list of conditions that he died from.
Are you concerned it took them so long to tell you?
Well, yeah. It's good I'm still alive. We have one son, and our son was only 12 years old when my husband, his father, died from having been exposed to Agent Orange and being in Vietnam. Yep. You should see this. You should see this list of conditions.
Why don't you email that to me? Would you email me that letter? Can you scan that and email it to me?
Honest to God, I don't do email. I'm elderly and I don't do email. And my son had a computer, but now it's no good.
It's all right.
He needs a new.
No, it's none of my business. I just thought it would be interesting to see that list, Marlene. And I'm sorry, you don't sound old. That's why I knew for sure you could do it. But Marlene, bless you. Thank you very much for calling The Other Side of Midnight at 800-848-9222, talking about your Memorial Day, the thoughts you have in your family on Memorial Day. 800-848-9222. Coming up, we're going to share stories about Three-Eye Atlas. You know what Three-Eye Atlas is? Three-Eye Atlas is this bizarre meteor, comet, they're not sure, that's floating in a way that no comet, meteor has ever done before. And it's getting closer and closer to us. And it just started to change. It changed its color. It changed its speed. And you and I will have details about that. Plus, we'll go over the UFO files that were released. And then an amazing list. We're going to go over the 20 most popular conspiracy theories today. And I'm going to share them with you. And then you're going to have to guess which conspiracy theory most Americans actually believe. I'm inclined to believe most of them. Usually when there's a theory, a conspiracy that just won't go away, that's because it's driven by facts. That's because it's driven by truth. And that's usually terrifying. But you and I will talk about that. You won't believe the conspiracy theory that most Americans actually believe. When I read it, I say, it can't be true. But it's true. And you and I will go over that soon. That's coming up with Walter Sterling on The Other Side of Midnight. 800-848-9222. This is the Red Apple Audio Networks.